welcome. Today I'm going to share with you my recipe for a loaf of bread, and I'm going to make this whole wheat. If you don't want to make it whole wheat, you can make it all white or you can make it all whole wheat. It all depends on your preference, and I'm actually making it with more white flour than the whole wheat flour. And here I have 2.5 cups of white bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour if you like. And I have 3 tablespoons of whole wheat flour. I have a half a cup of warm milk, 3/4 cups of warm water, half a teaspoon of salt, some extra dry flour for dusting, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and 1 tablespoon and a teaspoon of instant yeast. So let's get started on putting our bread together. Okay, to the bread flour, the white flour, I'm going to add in my whole wheat flour. Give it a mix. To this, I'm going to add my salt, my sugar, my yeast, and I'm going to give this a mix now. Okay, so to this, I'm just going to make a little well in the middle, and I'm going to add in my butter. And I'm going to add in my milk. I'm going to use my dough hook. You can use your food processor, you can use your hands if you like. This needs some water, so I'm going to add some. You want to knead this so you create a soft to medium dough. Okay, so now that this has come together and it's slightly sticky still, I'm going to flour my surface, and I'm going to turn my dough out onto the floured surface. Just going to add some more dry flour on the top, and now I'm going to knead this very slowly. Just take your time, and you're going to knead this until it's smooth and our gluten has formed. So I've finished kneading my flour, and it's nice and smooth. You see, when you press on it, it bounces back. That's what you want. And here I have a greased bowl. I'm just gonna turn it out onto my bowl so that it doesn't dry up, and I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna let my microwave run for 60 seconds. When that's finished, I'll pop this in, so the heat from the microwave will help this to proof really quick. So my dough just took 10 minutes to proof because we preheated the microwave. I'm just going to take it out. See how nice it has risen? I'm just going to lightly flour my surface. I'm going to put my dough onto my surface, and I'm going to cut this into 4 parts. Because I'm going to be a little adventurous today, and instead of making a plain loaf, we're going to try and make a braided loaf. So just roll this back up into a dough ball. I'm just going to let my dough balls sit, and I'm just going to cover them because you don't want to leave them exposed to the air because the air will dry them out. So just for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll move on. Okay, now that the dough has rested, it has even risen a little more. I'm just going to turn it over. And I like to turn over the dough so that it doesn't dry out at the top. And I'm just going to take my dough and I'm going to roll it. And you can flour your surface. Roll it into a long log. Okay, now that I've made my logs, and I made 4 of them, and they're about 14 to 15 inches long, I'm just going to make a cross with them. Now I may run out of space here but I'm gonna try my best. And where the cross meets, I'm gonna pinch that flour, because we don't want our braid to fall apart. So cross your hands and make an X, and cross your hands and make another X. I think this is how it's done. And when you get the braid to the end here, you also want to pinch it. So with this, I'm going to put it into my buttered loaf pan. See, and it fits perfectly. So here I have some melted butter that I'm going to brush on the top of my loaf. And I'm putting a little extra butter because this is whole wheat bread, and whole wheat tends to dry out really quickly. So now this goes back into my microwave just until it reaches the edge of my pan. You don't want it to rise too high. You just want it to reach the edge of the pan, so when it goes into the oven, it will even rise a little more, and then it will be perfect when it's finished. So I'm going to pop this back into my microwave to proof a little. I'm going to put my oven to preheat at 350 degrees, and then once this proofs, we'll go ahead and pop it in for our bread to bake. So my loaf has risen really nicely, if you all can see. And it's now ready to go into my preheated oven, as I said, 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes until it's cooked all the way through. So my loaf just came out of the oven and it actually stayed in there for 40 minutes. Now I'm going to leave it to cool, because when you take bread out of the oven, you never cut it right away because it will collapse. Okay, now I'm going to cut into my bread. See, it has a slight crust, nothing too much. Can you see that? How nice and soft it is. It's still pretty hot. So that's it, my whole wheat bread recipe. I hope you guys try this recipe. Make it and let me know down below if you like it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all another day with another one of my recipes. Enjoy!